Hello students. Now we'll go for the further types of interviews. The depth interview or action interview. Here the questions are semi-structured specific questions. Here the purpose of the interviewer is to know the knowledge of the candidate. Say for example, if you studied accounting, he may ask you several questions relating to accounting, or maybe like subjects like auditing. Then there will not be any formalized questions. You will not be having any list of the questions to be asked. So it is somewhat a discussion type. You will also tell something and response to that. Here the interviewer also again he is going to speak with you. He may ask for some further questions. Again you may give a counter answer to that. So like this here it goes on. So it provides a true picture of the candidate by intensive examination of his or her background. Normally, this in-depth of interview will be conducted during the course of the personal interview for the post of for the post of IAS or IPS. So where they will be discussed. They are going to ask so many questions relating to the subject they have studied. So this kind of interview is what is called as a depth interview or action interview here. Then there will be another interview called as a board or panel interview. Remember here the interview board may consist of only sometimes 2 persons, or it may be having more than 2 members. And remember, these members are from different fields. Some of them they may be from law, some of them they are from accounting, some of them they are from education background or practical industry it may be. So even in case of the the panel you are doing the course of, in case of the KPS interviews, that is Karnataka Public Commission, or maybe like UPSC interviews, here normally it will be there. The questions, they are strictly related to subject matter here. What you studied during your graduation, or say for example in case of UPSC, what you have taken a subject as prelims and mains. So questions will be asked on that. And remember here the marks are awarded by each member individually, not as a group. So assume that there are 5 interviewers in the board. So each and all the members, they will assign marks for you, and it will is based on ranking system, and selection of the candidate will be made, and this will facilitate in discharge of the duties here. So this kind of interview normally in case it will be there in case of UPSC or KPSC, where the candidate will be thoroughly interviewed. Now let's go for the next type of interview here, that is called as appraisal interview. Normally this is done for a person who is already working with a particular company, in the same company, when he expects his monetary benefit should be hiked. So in such case the appraisal will take place. So I mean to say, in a very simple say, these are the interviews which are conducted for the purpose of promotion. So it is an exchange of facts, I mean to say not ideas, facts between a manager and an employee here. It is designed to evaluate and create a career development plan. So that's what I said, when you want to get a promotion, or when you expect a hike in your salary, then in such case you need to provide appraisals. That means what you have done in the last 1 year and how you were worth for the company, right? Then performance of an employee will be evaluated thoroughly, what you have made. And because you are, say for example, if you are working in a team, your TL knows, your TL should recommend that you are fit for promotion, right? So performance of an employee will be evaluated thoroughly. Then it is conducted to ascertain the need for training to an employee. Suppose assume that if you are not up to their mark, or say assume that you have caliber, and if you provided some more inputs in the form of training, so that will help in the discharging the duties and ultimately achieving the objectives of the company. So that's why, in order to ascertain whether the candidate or whether the existing employee requires any further training for further employment accomplishments. And questions are restricted only to the performance. No more I mean to say nonsense questions will be asked, right? So it is strictly with respect to your performance of the job with the same particular employee here. And then the next one comes here, walk-in interview. Yeah, normally this is followed in case of the common in career fairs, And remember, it is not a scheduled one. It may be sometimes conducted in the metro cities like Bangalore, Pune on a weekly basis or on fortnightly basis or on daily basis. So this is a strategy to conduct interview when the recruiting firm is requiring to hire in a huge number. Normally, even when you go for the campus drives, you find this kind of interview method. And remember, vacancies are notified by the employer. Say it may be in the newspaper. Say, I think you may be knowing in case of the Deccan Herald, you have got a supplement paper called as Avenues, where you find walk-ins, many walk-ins. Or you take, for example, the Times of India, so where you can find many walk-in interviews will be appearing in the advertisements. So candidates directly appear before the interviewer. So say, for example, you write a CV or a biodata on a plain paper and submit, and later on you can present your testimonials for further verification. So questions may be related to your personal as well as a professional of the interviewee. Sorry, it is typed as interviewer, it is interviewee, right? Then the next one comes here, stress interview. Of course, this is an interview which is conducted to ascertain how the candidate can bear, to what extent or to what level the candidate can bear the stress. So an offbeat way to see how candidates react to unusual circumstances under the pressure. Of course, job is a pressure, and how you can balance your work with your life. So there may be some deliberately the questions are asked which will annoy or frustrate or embarrass the candidates. Sometimes so many irrelevant questions can be asked. I think you may be knowing, if you have participated in the management fest, where there is an event called the best manager. So whether the manager can bear the stress or not. So in order to test that, such kind of interviews are conducted. So interviewer interrupts in between, argues in the sense what you say, he may not agree with what you are contending, and he may criticize the candidate also. Why you have wear that particular shirt? Why you are why you have wear this kind of tie? Why your hairs are like this? So many questions can be asked, so that you'll be totally under pressure. Sometimes you will get so much frustrated that you have been insulted by him. So this only thing, how such questions are asked to test the level of the patience of the candidate. So it is asked, it is conducted to ascertain the mindset of the person to work under the pressure. Because sometimes when you are employed, there may be so many pressures from the inside, I mean to say within the organizations, and it may be from the outside the organization. Then how you are ready to bear. Then there are some unexpected questions are asked, such as why you were fired from your last job, why you want to quit that particular job. Then there may be some questions like what is the worst thing you have had about working with our company or the previous company. Do you think you have more qualified than your boss? Normally these questions will come. Then how you are going to bear. Why are manhole covers are round? Right? So these are nonsense questions. Sometimes it seems to be nonsense, but you need to in a position to sustain the situations and react to the situations. So how do you respond if your manager gave you a negative feedback in front of your peers? That means in front of your say the peer group, in front of your co-employees, or in front of your own friends. So how you are going to react? So the basic purpose is to test the level of the patience and how the candidate respond to the situations. So that all things are to be answered during such interviews. And remember, the stress interviews, you need to have the patience, should ready to accept and react. That's all. Then the next one comes here, the tele-interview. Remember here, these are the interviews which are conducted over a telephone here. And remember, now it has become a great tool for a recruiter to assess whether you are a serious applicant and decided whether or not take further through the application process. So in case of the tele-interviews, this will reduce sometimes normally this will come only after when you clear the aptitude test, when you are clear your GD rounds. So then comes the tele-interview, and thereafter it will come to the person interview. So in case of the tele-interviews, there are certain things which are called as do's and don'ts. That means what you should do during the telephonic interview and what you are not supposed to do. So now what you should do, first you should have the operation knowledge of the phone. Remember here how you operate an Android mobile is different from how you operate with other OS, that is operating systems, right? So how you should have a proper knowledge of operating the phone. So how to receive the phone, how to increase the volume of the phone, and the knowledge about the various apps here. Then you should have a writing pad and a pen with you while doing the course of conversation. Sometimes they may tell you, you should come tomorrow at 9:35 a.m. at Brigade Road, Bangalore for attending a personal interview. So that's why you not, or sometimes they may tell other certain things about the company you should note down. Then you should talk very slowly and you show the confidence and be very concise. Don't bluff the things, right? Then you should minimize all distractions, making sure your background is quiet. So there will not be any disturbance at your ambience, so that you are properly listening and you are reacting, you are providing the replies. Listen carefully at the beginning of the conversation to get a caller's correct name and job title. Don't ask who is ಯಾರವರು ಏನಂದ್ರಿ ಈ ಥರ ಕೇಳಬಾರ್ದು. So you should listen properly, then react to, and you should know what is the job title for which the interview will be taking place, and thank the caller for his or her time, because during the precious time they have called you for the interview, so that's why you need to thank. Then what you are not supposed to do, use speech fillers such as don't say ha or a long pause. You should go on reacting, yes sir, yes ma'am, like this. Otherwise if you keep mum, what the other person can understand about you. And don't chew anything, don't eat anything during the course of interview, right? Avoid all those things so that you'll have a clear voice, so that other person can listen you properly. And if there's a disturbance, sometimes assume that you cannot expect that when you are going to get a call. So when you have a disturbance, say that you will call back later because you are in the disturbed area. Then you should never allow a phone to ring. Actually the spelling is wrong, it has been typed as ring. Please make correction, ring it is. Ring for a long time. So I mean to say, you should receive the phone immediately. If you don't hear properly, ask pardon for the repeat of the same. Sometimes what happens here, there may be poor network connectivity, so that's why you cannot listen to the other person properly. And don't put the caller tune which may irritate the caller. ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಫೋನ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀರಿ, so you should not create any kind of irritation to the caller here. Now let us look into some general do's and don'ts during the course of the interview. So what you are supposed to do, you should prepare physically as well as mentally. I mean to say physical fitness in the sense you should be in a proper groomed, properly combed, properly dressed. Then you should be mentally ready to answer to the questions what they are going to ask for you. Then you should whatever the clothes you have, neatly iron them and dress them properly, and wear the same thing. And every time don't demand for new clothes to your parents, or every time don't go find new clothes to attend an interview. Only thing what you have got, wear properly, and let it be very formal dress on that day. Then revise the subjects which you have studied for your complete examination the courses. Say assume that if you have done BCom, you should have the knowledge of all the BCom subjects, right? Then research about the company. So just when you apply to particular company, assume that if you apply to JP Morgan, so what type of the JP Morgan company is, where it is having its base, what is its market share, how it is doing in the market. So all those things you should know. Then take care of the body movements and postures. So how you should sit, how you should not lean back like this, you should not sit like this or looking like this here, right? So you should take care of your body movements. Then maintain a proper eye contact with the interviewer. Say when your interviewer is looking at you and if you are looking at other side, then it should not be done like that. So proper maintain an eye contact. Then you thank the interviewer and wish them, say like good morning madam, or good morning sir, or sirs, good morning madam, like this. Or if say if the both the gender is there, simply you can also wish like a good morning, happy morning, like this. Then don't put the chair back, please put the chair back in its place. After your interview, while going, you should keep the chair where earlier it was. Then shut the door closely, don't pull or push immediately, okay? Then what you are not supposed to do, don't be overconfident. Hey, I have attended several interviews, what it is, don't do like that. Don't be neither overconfident nor underconfident, be confident, that's all. Don't have fear also. You should make a proper rehearsal before you go for attending an interview. Don't try to reach venue hurriedly. Say for example, if your venue is far away from your place, make a proper arrangement of transport to reach the venue in time, so that you will not get under pressure or tension. Then don't offer shake hands unless it is extended by them. Don't say thank you like this until they extend their hands for shake hand. Then don't sit until you are don't sit until they ask you to sit down. Then don't play with the heads like this, scratching the head or biting the nails, something like this. Then don't bluff. Don't go on talking. Listen and talk, so that it will create a better impression. Don't be arrogant and aggressive, right? So don't make a hurry in answering the questions. Listen the question carefully, then you can answer. Don't drag the chair noisily. You should wait, right? Then don't hurry to leave the room also, because sometimes they may also make an assessment, how you sit, how you come, how you go out, all these things. These are what we call as etiquettes, which are required in the corporate interview. All right. This is the end of the slides. I hope you can watch these 3 videos very carefully, and if you have any questions, please note down and discuss with me either on WhatsApp, or you can give a ring to me, or you can send a question in case of the group which is created by the college. Okay, thank you all, and I will make another video of the 4th chapter also, and I will post you. Give me a couple of days of time. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a stay at home and be safe. Okay, thank you.